Again, another one of community. If we think back to early American history, the way these fields got cleared was by a lot of hands. The way barns went up were by a lot of hands. No one had the time to put a barn up by themselves, so they had barn raisings, and the community would rally, and so everyone knew that was a common practice, and it was more of a responsibility than a party. It was a man needs his barn up, everybody stops what they're doing, they put it up. So it stands to reason that McCoy and Hatfield, while they were very different men, they were friends, and they tolerated each other. If you talk to Bill, he says his character was very, very opinionated. That probably did rub Devil Lands a little bit wrong, but he probably deep down liked McCoy. They both served the Confederate Army, and they both did it honorably. However, at one point, Devil decides that he has given enough to the war, and understands that in his own mind, the price he's paid serving the Confederacy, his family is really beginning to suffer. And per our script, that's one of the tear moments between us, where he feels that I'm deserting. We know that many men actually went back to see their families and left that war. They weren't being paid. There was a lot of things that were going on, and so from a story standpoint, we highlight that as a difference. But in truth, we also know that McCoy traveled home several times during the war. And so, like in anything in life, you got to just be careful about being right all the time, because there's a level of hypocrisy that lives inside all of us. And so, but for our purposes, one of the tears began to happen there where Devil decided, I'm going home, having just saved his troops in a very heroic way. He decides that he's going to go home. McCoy is absolutely against that and poses the question, what if every man decided to go home when he just thought it was right? What would happen then? And of course, Devil's answer is it'd be shorter wars for sure. And so the philosophical bent that exists, and then probably the thing that accentuated that particular problem was McCoy was taken prisoner and served in a Union prison. And so the idea that maybe when McCoy finally worked his way back home, no one being able to understand what happens behind walls like that in a prison, to see that the Devil was now prospering, that his lumber mill was in full tilt. He had employees. That probably, if you want to read between the lines of history and find that human behavior, you have to believe that jealousy began to rear its head. While I was here, you were here. While I was doing this, you were doing that. Probably in Randall's mind, I became no different than other people who profited by the war. And again, harsh words are exchanged between these two men, at which point Devil says to him, no man can question what I give the cause, especially you. And all he's saying at that point is, you saw what I gave to the war. But if you want to continue to feel like I'm something less than you are, then you go ahead.